Ladies and gentlemen, today's review is of no other than FAKER'S iconic Ryze, the champion he unfortunately lost last night with in the LCK finals up against Damwon. Showmaker had a beautiful LeBlanc game, and already from level 1, he's looking to all in this Zoe. Starts that corrupting potion tick. And you have to be really careful here with the minion aggro. Do you see how FAKER is trying to tether? He tethers back and forth between it. He gets the solo onto Zoe. And he tries to use that spacing to not only make sure that Zoe doesn't have a trade back, but also to drop that minion aggro. And I think it ends up making the difference there. He's able to get the 1v1 onto the Zoe, even though she has the ignite. And people don't realize this, but on Ryze, dude, you are a powerhouse even in the early game. Don't be afraid. If you can put your fancy footwork on and you can dodge out a couple of skill shots, weave that E in, or even that W, or some Ryzers like to start. FAKER goes with the E there for the most damage output. W is a little bit better if you're looking for short range trades, but the E, if you're looking for that extended all in. He sees it, he goes for it, success. So FAKER at the moment, preparing for Worlds. He's already qualified for Worlds, right? So last night he lost to Damwon. He played this Ryze in the last game and he did lose. He had a couple of little bit of slip-ups in my opinion on the Ryze. So back in the solo queue practicing this champion. Everyone knows FAKER for this Ryze. He likes to use the champion to really think about other things in the game and try and help his team out to maneuver around the map. He likes to play this champion and then do all the shot calling, the positioning, try and forge his team into the right positions with the realm warp and stuff like that. Last night, he got a little bit unlucky, but he's up against Showmaker, who is probably one of the best mids in the world. Definitely in my top 4 mids in the world at the moment. And then FAKER, unfortunately. I don't think I'd put FAKER in my top 5. Some people might be a little bit angry with that. But for me, best mids in the world, what would my list be? I'm feeling like right now, I'd put Doinby number 1. I'd put Chovy and Knight. Like, I like both mids. I think maybe I'd like to put Chovy 2, Knight 3. And then 4, I probably would put Showmaker. So I think Showmaker 4, FAKER maybe like 7 or 8. There's a lot of LPL mids that I really like. I like Cream, Fofo. There's plenty of other mid laners getting around. No really Westerners in that list. Back in the day, there was a period of time where you'd put players like Bjergsen or Caps where people would debate whether they were up in those top 5s. But at the moment, like, there's just no really Western mid that I can put in a top 5. Maybe top 10. You got Humanoid, Larson. No, probably not Perks. But anyways, as FAKER gets the teleport up, gets his second kill of the game. And this Lulu hopefully will swap. I mean, Lulu has teleport. I'm wondering what FAKER does here. If you decide to back, yeah, he's just going to stay. And I talk about this all the time with lane allocations. Lulu runs mid here. You stay top until it's in a favorable position for the team to get the swap back. Don't force the swap back on a bad lane. Don't stuff up this shove. And then a lot of times I've seen this happen. Like, the Ryze will shove here, but you won't shove it hard enough and the enemy top laner pulls a freeze. Imagine he's playing Renekton. And then Lulu comes back into top lane against the worst possible freeze you've set up for them. And you're like, yep, that's your problem now, deal with it. You can't do that, guys. Don't do that. You need to fix the lane. Your goal is to be leaving the lane in a perfect state for your opponent. Hopefully slow shoving back for your teammate, sorry. Or in just an even lane state. Don't fail shove and set up a freeze. Like, it's the number one thing you can do to tilt your teammates. And just ruin their laning phase. As you can see, he gets his Lucidity boots. And people ask me, do I think Ryze is a good solo queue pick? I say no. I think Ryze is pretty bad in solo queue. I think Ryze only sees pro play because, I mean, number 1, he has very good shove in early lanes. He can get priority, which essentially means he can shove these lanes out so that the junglers can contest camps, contest objectives faster than other mid laners in the meta. But also the Realm Warp, the ultimate, as this skirmish looks completely stuffed. You'll see a lot in pro play, guys. Ryzers will use the Realm Warp, the R, to get the team into the Baron Pit, the Dragon Pit, the Elder Pit, or for a flank. And this is game-changing. In solo queue, your gold, on average, the people watching these videos is silver, right? Because that's just the average rank of a league player. Your teammates probably still don't mostly know what a Realm Warp does, how to position in it, how it works, what to do with it. So you'll be realm warping for like a Baron rush and only 2 people will get in. Your whole team gets separated. The enemy team picks you apart like sitting ducks. It's very hard to synergize. So whilst I think you can find success with Ryze, I definitely think it's suited to high elo and pro play more so than solo queue. But in saying that, if you want to play Ryze, it's a fun champion. It's easy to make work, and you can average 10 CS per minute piss easy. You have really good access to resources, so entirely up to you guys. As he checks for the camp, heads back to the mid lane. And I've seen a couple of Ryze builds getting around. Usually the Everfrost seems to be the go-to with Ryze. I've seen some Ludens, if you're looking to play really aggressive, get some extra armor pen and wave clear, but the Everfrost CD, the crowd control it offers, it's pretty good, especially in the short range comps. So we roll down into the bot side of the map. Realm Warp incoming, just getting on the edge of that. You see, like, with the Realm Warp, a lot of people know this, but like, you can position how you'll arrive. You don't have to arrive in the middle. You can arrive right on the edge of it to try and help gap close whatever distance you're looking to run towards. As I was going to say, so what's happening with Fake at the moment? So he's already qualified for Worlds, yes, but he still has to play the regional qualifiers to see whether he's going to be in the main card or the play-in draw. So there's 4 teams in the regional qualifiers. You've got Hanoa, which is Chovy's team. Then you've got Red Force. Then you've got Sandbox, and then you got T1. T1 are already in the finals. So the 3 teams are going to be fighting to see who makes the finals. If you make the finals for the regional final, the regional playoffs, you're automatically going to Worlds, and then you're playing against T1 to see where you'll be placed. So Chovy, in order to make Worlds, needs to win 2 best of 5s against Sandbox. And then if he wins that, then they've got to go against Red Force. So it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle. But he'll be up against, hopefully, I'm hoping Chovy makes it, and he'll be up against final boss Faker to see if he goes to the main stage or the play-ins. I mean, I'd rather see Chovy in play-ins against some of the mid laners. I think Chovy would gap them a little bit harder than Faker would in lane, which would make for some comedic games. But anyways, that's a little update. I think the games start on Tuesday. That should be Hanua's best of 5 against Sandbox, I think. Bit confusing how it all works, and there's all these championship points and all this crap. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Man, I don't know. There's always summer and spring and this and all these points bloody carrying over to get to Worlds. Every year I'm like, so how do they qualify? How do they do it? But anyways, right game system. Probably the best way to do it. What do I know? As we shove in 82 CS to 44. Go, 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 we can flash. Oh, it doesn't pull it. Why? Because Nocturne has a spell shield. You spell shield the Ryze W, then he can just put his E on top of you and you'll probably die. As this matchup, in my opinion, this matchup is pretty solid for the Zoe just because of the range advantage that you have in the mid game. If Ryze, see, like Ryzes don't go Mercs, they go for that Lucidity Boots. So, well, not all Ryzes, but Fake is going for the Lucidity Boots. So, if he does get hard CC'd with no cleanse and the Nocturne ult comes through onto his head, he's screwed. He's stuffed. He needs the Hourglass, which won't come through until probably 2nd or 3rd. Nocturne is just on a warpath. 3-1. Chinese player, it seems. And yeah, man, Worlds is lining up to be a bloody good tournament so far. We've got, I mean, honestly, I'm pretty happy with how it's all been wrapped up. It definitely was a shame that Knight didn't make it, but DoinB and FBX are looking to be the best team in the world at the moment. And I can't wait for like DoinB versus Showmaker, Faker, hopefully Chovy. Knight, he's been to Worlds before. He didn't have that impressive of a performance, some people would say, as Faker gets the bounty onto the Nocturne. And you can see Viego turns in, grabs the kill for himself, and Viego doing Viego things. He gets bubbled up, and then he instantly flashes in with the Lulu ult, slice and dicing into the ultimate, and that is how you play Viego, ladies and gents. They're still down 500 or so gold because of that topside plating, but Viego can carry these type of games. Absolutely crazy champion. As we have teleport, we teleport down into the bot side here, working our way towards the Everfrost because of the Kindle gem that I see. He gets CC'd up. He does not have flash. He might be dead. Is he dead? Ooh, and he doesn't get anybody. Absolutely horrendous there by Faker. What do you guys think about that play? I mean, really well executed by this enemy bot lane, but if they stuffed up and Faker got a single or a double, it would have been a little bit tragic. But anyways, you need to be careful on these TPs sometimes. Don't TP to save a tower if there's like 2 or 3 people hovering. Don't... People have this false sense of security because the tower's there. Tower really doesn't matter if you got something like a Braum set up with no flash. You're stuffed. We speed out of base. I love the way Ryze runs. Really athletic. We're gonna come through. I'm waiting for the 131. This is like the 131 is definitely. I mean, the 131 is gonna benefit red side in my opinion. The problem with 131ing against a Nocturne is that just he will. You can't, even if he's not on your side of the map, you can't safely, unless you see him. If he's off vision, you can't safely shove waves at all. So it just puts you in a really bad predicament where even if you win the 131. There's a jungle presence there that you can't back up with the Viego. You can't have that in both lanes. As Renekton just tearing this Lulu apart. Faker trying to make the decision. Do I run top side to hold the wave or do I stay mid and look for the Leona setup? And Zoe doesn't have flash. Nocturne ultimate comes through though. Faker trying to kite. And he doesn't. He's not able to. He drops there to the Braum. But maybe Viego can play cleanup crew. Jinx. Needs to try and kite out. God, this game is such a fiesta. Viego gets the reset onto the Zoe. Looking to land the bubble. Gets it onto the Braum. Waiting for the shield. He's going to die there to the Renekton. He's not able to get it. Now the Leona has no summoners. Ryze comes out. Jinx with the double kill, and Faker, he's got his Everfrost, he's working his way towards the Hourglass now. And gone are the days, dude, if you, how stupid, I don't know if you guys remember, you used to be able to Realm Warp and then Hourglass on top of the R, and you'll be able to get out of any scenario free. That was such a dumb mechanic in the game, I can't believe that existed for so long. But anyways, they removed that now, so if you Hourglass or Stasis on top of the Realm Warp, you will stay still. Which is how it should be. Now it's Operation Get the Last Plate. 15 seconds to go. Dude, I think tower plates were one of the best changes Riot Games made to the game. I actually think it's been so important in making counterplays to roaming playstyles and punishing people for not being in the right place. I think it was a very good change. I think they made that in Season 8, maybe. Season 8? Sounds about right. I think it was a good change. Most of the changes they've made, I think alcoves have been pretty trash. Like, I really don't give a fuck about alcoves, I won't lie. I think that was a bit of a, like, I don't know, just a stupid change. I'm looking for some nice pre-season changes. They said specifically they're going to be looking for more item diversity, which I like. I think number one, there's nowhere near enough diversity for mages, as we're going to dive onto the Zoe here. Beautiful, beautiful use of the Realm Warp there. Brings the minions into tower, remember? So it's gonna, this allows you to even dive the Nexus to bring these minions in. And yeah, they're gonna try and change item diversity, bring some more items to mages, and just give them more more avenues for different scenarios where you can build different things. As Faker almost kills the Braum. I think there should be, so I think for every mythic, there should be like a tree from that where you can make like small incremental upgrades to give different things. Like you could, like, do you remember when you used to have boots and that you could get boots that gave you +5 MS? There was boots that gave you the home guard activation. There were boots that gave you, there was different boots. There's definitely different type of boots. Like if imagine every mythic has like 3 different styles that you can, maybe as soon as you upgrade the mythic, you can like level it like a different way. Like this gives you, the active is longer, or the active, like for Everfrost, maybe the Everfrost is longer, maybe the Everfrost is like a, oh, like, do you know how Gangplank Ultimate? Like it's a pinpoint, like just for different diversity in different scenarios. What else is there? Like maybe, yeah, maybe extra damage, maybe your champion gets a bloody hoverboard. I don't know, man, but I reckon item diversity is lacking in this game. I think that there's so many mythics that we see, like Divine Sunder or whatnot, that just, it's boring. So many champions go it. It's like, man, what's the point of having all these items if there's just the same mythics over and over and there's not that much complexity to it, as we are having a fiesta on our hands, lads. Nocturne able to get the kill onto the Viego. It's a huge bounty as well. What else has been going on? LCS, 100 Thieves, able to take out C9. So it's going to be Team Liquid versus 100 Thieves final. Coming up. I think, dude, I think that's... Is that today? Tomorrow. 100 Thieves versus Team Liquid. I think Team Liquid win 3-1. 2018 was the first year 100 Thieves was in the LCS, and they went finals against Team Liquid and lost 3-0. But that was the Team Liquid that had double lift. And I think that iteration was a little bit more dominant than Team Liquid are today. But I'm with Team Liquid. Obviously, I support Team Liquid, but I'm not really much of like a... I don't usually support a team. I just want there to be 5 games of great League of Legends. I'm more of a mid lane supporter than any specific like team or anything like that. I want to see 2 good teams go head to head and give us good league. I don't want no stomp. I don't want no clean. I just want a fiesta. I want there to be action, fighting, backdoors, and I want it to go long. That's what I want. I'm not usually rooting for a team. I won't lie. I root for individual players, like Chovy, people that I see talent with, Doomby. But overall, just give me some good league, man. As we've got our Everfrost, we've got our Hourglass, working towards the Archangel staff. And also, Archangel, how boring of an item did they make that? No active now. How boring, you just get it and upgrade. Come on, man. Surely we can get some interesting bloody transitions in League. What else could Archangel do, man? Like, surely we could give it some type of active or some type of different thing than just automatically upgrading. Anyways, we'll see what Riot Games has planned for the preseason, hey? Hopefully they just... I'm hoping they just put a shit ton of items in the game. And, like, I'm talking like 30. Or, like, all these different upgrades. And then by the end of the preseason, they determine what ones worked, what didn't. And then by the time season starts, you know, we've got 10 or so or a bunch of different complex new items and build paths to the game. That's what I hope. That's what I really hope they do. I think preseason should always be a time where they push the limits of the game and then refine it towards the start of the season come January. Because in order to keep League of Legends alive, we need the game to always be changing, because it will get stale, it will get boring. People will leave. People go play Fortnite, and we can't have people playing Fortnite as we're getting a 1v1 against Renekton in the side lane. I think Faker wins this. We don't have any grievous wounds though. Let's see how it plays out. Nocturne comes in. We get the Hourglass just before he's able to land the E. Always Hourglass before Nocturne can get his tether, by the way. Because Nocturne will get his E, and then if you Hourglass, when you come out of stasis, you will be feared. The fear goes through the Hourglass, and the duration is going to leave you 1 to 2 seconds out of the Hourglass, but you're still feared. It's complete crap, I know. So make sure, before he's in, you hit Hourglass so he can't press his E onto you. As we shove in the mid lane with the TP. Hopefully he shoves mid, then runs bot. Look how much farms in the bot lane. Dragon's up though, and it's 3rd dragon, so we can't leave this. Everfrost active. Gets to slow into the Braum. Leona comes through. Working around the Jinx traps. And this is a nice position of Ryze to be in. You want to be front to backing, making sure no one touches your carry, the Ezreal, and just spewing out EQ, EQ, EQ with the W if you can. Huge Realm Warp. He puts that deep onto Braum, onto the Jinx. Leona does drop, but it ends up being a 2-4-1. And that's going to mean Dragon. That's going to mean Ocean Soul coming up in 5 minutes. And Faker at the moment, 180 CS to 99. The problem here is not that... It's not that Faker is farming impressively. It's that Jinx doesn't have access to any of these side lane waves. She's sharing all her farm with the Jinx, and Jinx is eating everything. And you never want to be in a position like this. Zoe doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know where to be. And this is the best thing about Ryze. You have so much mana and wave clear that you're able to get these 10 CS per minute mark pretty easily. And that's essentially going to mean that Faker... Like, it's a 100 CS lead at 20 minutes. 100 CS at 20 CS per CS is 2,000 gold. That's like a needlessly large and a blasting or something. Imagine having a needlessly large and a blasting just from farm. Imagine that just in a 1v1. How important and how much... That's just from farm and resource. Not to even mention the experience, guys. Do not sacrifice everything for fights. The farm is usually where it's at. As Faker refusing to go back until he's going to have an Archangel upgrade for sure here. And the question always is, what do you do as Zoe if you can't find farm? You can still side lane even if you're not 1v1ing. You just have to wait for the wave to crash in and then clear the waves through. Hopefully if you get dove, it means you're playing weak side and your team can push on the opposite side of the map on strong side if they put too many players towards your side. But you need to make sure that you're catching these waves and not just running down mid looking for a fight. No fight happens, then you run across and your wave's already dead to the tower and Fake is always 3 steps ahead of you, as he hits 3 items here in the mid game. And this is where you really want to start banging out some fights. When you see these types of advantages, okay, you're 3 items over the Zoe. I don't think side laning is the option. I think start forcing team fights because you're so much more relevant than the Zoe right at this moment. So unless you know that she's going to come out and match you on a side lane or something, just force down mid when you get these advantages and build them up. Because as much as a golden advantage is cool and you're farming and whatnot, unless you actually use it like he is in these team fights, it doesn't matter. You're eventually going to have to use this lead to turn the game. And Faker, he's going in deep, right in front of the tower. He doesn't care at this point. EQ, 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 W. Pretty simple champion Ryze, and now it's going to give them access to the Baron. And you see how he uses these realm warps. I would recommend most of the time for you guys to at least think for 3 or 4 seconds before you realm warp. And then slowly cut down on that time. Because I've had a lot of Ryzes in my games, even in Challenger, that realm warp my entire team into like a Nunu ultimate and we all die. And we're like, dude, was this necessary? But just think sometimes, is it necessary? You don't need to always be realm warping on Ryze for kills. You can use it for objectives. You can use it simply to get to a wave quicker. Don't be scared of using this ultimate in different ways as we head back. Just clocking over 10 CS per minute here. Next item, going to be the Death Cap. And then probably the Void Staff will finish off the build. And who's excited for Faker at Worlds? They could have won against Darmon. They really could have won against Darmon. And if they can win against Darmon, they can make finals at Worlds. And if they can make finals at Worlds, it means they can win Worlds. Faker can win Worlds, okay? It's a little bit of hopium, injecting it directly to my veins, but they showed promise, man. They really did show promise. And at Worlds and groups, I mean, they're best of ones, man. You don't start getting those best of 5s until you run into the quarters, so anything can happen. Anything except for NA getting out of groups. That can't happen. We're looking for the mid lane siege. It's not even a side lane option. He has teleport, but man, he just has the Baron and he knows he's so strong that just grouping is the move. They've got the Ocean Soul spawning in the next 30 seconds. So you should try and keep the priority on the mid lane wave. And then it keeps the team so far into the base, right? You can sprint across to the ocean and pick it up for free. I would honestly send Faker to solo the ocean and then with teleport, and then he could teleport back if they engage. And you may see Faker try and use Realm Warp here to put his team straight into the Ocean Soul as it's going to spawn in the next 15. Yep, there you go. This is how you use it. And this is so hard to coordinate with lower elo players. Like, there'll be one straggler who just gets caught and he's like, fuck, he's like, damn, man, I didn't know what the hell that was. I don't know where to stand. It's like, man, come on. As the Viego gets the Ocean, Nocturne comes in, gets pounced on by Faker. 255 farm here. He has 130 CS lead, Ocean. And they should be able to clutch this in for the dub here. Shouldn't make us wait too much longer. It's a 6k gold lead and the enemy has a Jinx, but I think with the Ocean Soul and not much healing reduction on the enemy team, they're a little bit stuffed. And for me, Ryze is probably Faker's most iconic champion. I know a lot of people think his Z is because he made that play, but I think Ryze over the years has just been Faker's bread and butter, has it not? Is there another champion? Maybe LeBlanc, maybe Azir? I don't know. I just feel like this Ryze pick is him. Like, wasn't there that world's opening video or the cinematic where Faker was literally Ryze? They animated him as Ryze, right? It was the one with the perks with the Yasuo and all that. Love those cinematics. Can't wait for the world song. As we're looking for the siege, we've got Flash. Realm Warp up in 15. I'm hoping that they use it to try and dive the Nexus. And Faker just going to be spewing out. So do you see how he just front to backs this? He steps back. EQ, EQ. Now he sees his moment. He flashes in. And they'll just keep shoving through. What a champion. Seriously, go into a league game, go into a normal, and just try and farm like 12 per minute. If you haven't tried to farm 12 per minute, oh, here we go, Nexus dive, baby. Straight in, brings the minions in, and this is where you have a little bit of fun, hey? Gets the kills. And they're going to take the game. Hopefully you have enjoyed today's review, man. I mean, I know I didn't really talk too much about the game. I was just having a little bit of a yarn in general. But I like hanging out with you guys. I know some of you just watch it for just to hang back and kind of chill out. So until next time, guys, thank you all for watching. As we see Faker farm a little bit. Okay, he's just having a little bit of fun. Let's watch it. Any more kills? 9, 4, and 14. I think the enemy just wants to preserve their KD8. Let these minions finish off the job. That's going to be it from me, guys. Have a great weekend. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's league review. And until next time, I catch you all later. Peace.